A couple weeks ago, I went and had my annual done at my old place of employment, and I got a call back. I did a study pap, and that was $50. And they called me back and said that my pap smear came back abnormal, so I could do a study colposcopy for $100. So, of course, I did it. And today was my first colpo ever. And I just thought that I would share my experience with you guys. So, I see a nurse practitioner that works at my old place of work. She's really nice, she's really smart and educated, and she's very gentle with any procedures. So it's going okay today. But, so I got there a little early, and I waited for a while because they were short today or something, I don't know. But finally, when they called me back, my nerves started getting really bad because working there, like 4 or 5 months ago, I knew that colpos aren't a fun experience for women. I know that they aren't the easiest thing in the world to deal with. I know that they can be quite painful and very uncomfortable. So I get in the room and I, undress from the waist down. This video is going to be a little TMI, so if people that follow me and watch me don't like TMI stuff, because I am an open book, please don't watch this video because I'm going to be completely honest. But I undressed from the waist down, sat up on the table, waited for her to come in, and when she did, she explained the procedure to me, and she was going to tell me before she did anything. So, I laid back on the table, I put my feet up in the stirrups, and she was like, okay, so, they use Lugol solution, and they use acetic acid, which is also just vinegar. And what they do is they put the vinegar, they swab it onto your cervix, and whatever turns white is abnormal. So basically, your cervix is like a clock, it's circular. And she said when she brought the microscope that looks all the way up in your vagina at everything, I was like, oh my gosh, are you looking at my cervix? And she was like, yeah. And she put the acetic acid on there, and I was like, so is it abnormal? Like, what's wrong? And she was like, yes, there is abnormalities. So your cervix is circular like a clock. She said up at the top, like 10, 11, 12, 1, and then at the bottom, like 6, 7, 8, and 5 and 4 down on the bottom part, that turned white, which meant it was abnormal. And I asked her right away, because I'm the type of person that freaks out with abnormalities. I was like, oh my gosh, do I have cervical cancer? And she was like, your cervix does look abnormal from the acetic acid, but it's not cervical cancer. She kept saying that, but part of me feels like, doctors are like trained to say that to their patients to keep them calm while they're in the office. And then we, of course, have to wait until the biopsies come back. She took like 3 or 4 biopsies of my cervix, but basically, she numbed my cervix with lidocaine, and lidocaine is like Novocaine that you get at the dentist. It numbs you with a needle, and she stuck the needle into my cervix. So she told me to cough, and when I coughed, she stuck the needle in my cervix, and I was like, son of a B word, holy hell, like I was cussing, like it hurt so bad. And then once my cervix got numb, she asked me to cough again, and I was like, no, what are you about to do? And she was like, just cough for me. And I was like, no, I can't, I'm scared. Like, I was freaking out. So she just clipped my cervix and took a biopsy right then and there without me coughing. And I felt the pressure. It was kind of like a little tug, but it didn't hurt, of course, because I was numb. And I was like, oh my gosh, that didn't even hurt. And she was like, duh, I numbed you, dummy. So that part didn't hurt. But the lidocaine really hurt. Like, it felt like someone punched me in my gut. Like, I couldn't even breathe, and she was like telling me to take deep breaths, and I was trying to breathe deep, but it just hurt so bad. So once that was over, though, I didn't really feel anything. But when she took the speculum out, my vagina started burning a little bit, and then now my vagina is throbbing, and I kind of feel, of course, because, when you're on your period, it's your cervix, like, like your uterine lining is shredding, and your cervix is contracting and doing all kinds of crazy stuff on your period. So I'm kind of crampy. I'm not like super crampy like I'm on my period, but my vagina is really irritated. Like, it is throbbing from her taking the speculum out. But I'm glad to get it over with. Now, just waiting for the results kind of scares me because I freak out. about abnormalities, like I said. And, you know, the first thing when she's like, it could be HPV, or it probably is HPV, you know, I'm thinking cervical cancer. Like, I go right to the worst diagnosis ever. Just like when I have my seizures, I'm like, oh my gosh, I probably have a brain tumor. I don't know why I'm like that, but that's how I am. So that's basically how it went. It was like a 10-15 minute procedure. It really wasn't even that long. It felt like I was in there for an hour. Like, it was horrible. So obviously after a colposcopy, you can't have sex. You can't use tampons or any penetration of any sort in your vagina. For up to 4 to 7 days, you can have this coffee ground discharge because of the solution that they put in your vagina to help it stop bleeding. It's kind of like a Band-Aid. But yeah, I'm glad I got it over with. The worst case scenario, I'm really too young for like a LEEP procedure right now if it does turn into anything. So I'll probably, worst case scenario, will have to go back every 6 months to have another colposcopy. Really hope that doesn't happen. But my priority, like I said, this year was my health and happiness, and as long as this helps me get healthy, and I really hope my body clears this HPV on its own. This really sucks, and I'm the type of person that freaks out, and I really hope that it's nothing serious. But if it is, you know, I'm gonna of course share it with you guys like I share everything else. But I just thought I would tell you guys how my first colpo went, because I wasn't freaking out like at all. Like, I knew it was coming up today, and then like this morning I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to have my vagina violated. Like, I don't want this again. Like, an annual pap smear is enough. Like, I don't want to go back. And when they call me back, of course, they're like, how are you today? And I'm like, well, I really wish I wasn't coming back for this purpose, but gotta get it done. So I try to look on the bright side, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm really like freaking out and hoping it's nothing serious. But for anyone who's never had a colpo, it's not fun. It's very uncomfortable. But it's not like the worst pain in the world, especially once you're numb. If you've ever had a colpo and you weren't numb, I feel so sorry for you. They have hurricane spray, and they can also use lidocaine. But like that 5-10 seconds of pain with her sticking the needle in my cervix to numb me was completely worth it, because I didn't feel her use the biopsy gun to pinch the actual biopsy and pull it off my cervix. When I used to work there, I would see some providers just go in and do the colpo without using hurricane spray or any lidocaine, and that's why those girls were in so much pain and like wincing. So yeah, if you ever have to get one, and you can ask like, hey, does this provider use any numbing gel or any hurricane spray, any lidocaine? If their nurse or if the provider says no, see if you can request a numbing agent, because it makes it a lot more bearable. And like I said, now, like, my vagina is just like throbbing. Like, it hurts if I bend a certain way, and like, I don't know, I'm walking kind of like with my legs spread apart because I don't want it to like chafe. It's so weird. Like, I just, ugh. But, so I hope that everything comes back normal, because I don't want to have to get these every 6 months until it clears up. And that's the good thing about human papillomavirus. Most of the time, your body is going to clear it on its own. You need to, obviously, intake your vitamin D. So, like, milk, cheese, yogurt, eggs. And, she told me to intake a lot of vitamin D. I take a multivitamin, but there's not enough vitamin D in a multivitamin, so I'm probably going to just pick up a vitamin D supplement, or start eating like a crap ton of foods loaded with vitamin D to try and help clear this up, because I don't want to have to go through this ever again. Like, it's just awkward, and it just feels so weird down there. Like, I keep apologizing to my vagina. Like, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this and endure all of that violation, all of that pain. But yeah, so I just figured I'd share that with you guys, because you guys know that I share everything. I'm not scared to be out there and just let you know what everything's like. So yeah, that's all. I'm off today. I work this weekend. My birthday is on Sunday, the 28th, and I have to work 9 to 5:30, but that's cool. I'm off on Tuesday. I've been going to the gym a lot. I've started a weight loss vlog this month. I don't know if I'm going to upload it and finish it, but I might. So I hope you guys enjoy your Friday, and I hope you have a safe weekend.